Welcome to the Morning Update. I'm Erin Ramsey. Contact tracers are working closely with staff at the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne after a parent spent 3 days there before testing positive. The cancer ward's been designated a Tier 1 site, seeing young cancer patients and their carers forced into 2-week isolation. Chief Executive Bernadette McDonald says they've been ready for this type of scenario.
This is something we're seeing on a regular basis, and that's why we have our screening processes in place. So the minute that somebody is positive, we keep people out of the hospital as much as possible.
Health experts have welcomed figures showing 80% of Australians have now had their first dose of the COVID vaccine. 16.5 million people over the age of 16 have had their first jab. Professor Julie Leask from the University of Sydney says it's a major turnaround after a slow start.
It's so exciting to see this milestone achieved. Of course, we want to see that with 2 doses as well, but this shows what's going to be possible for the whole population.
70% of New South Wales residents have now received both doses of the COVID vaccine, with restrictions on track to start lifting from October 11. Meantime, Western Australia wants 80% of people fully vaccinated by the end of the year. The number who've had both jabs is currently at 51%. Border rules eased overnight for those travelling from New South Wales into Victoria. Red zones have been downgraded to orange, while Sydney's been reclassified. It's moved from an extreme zone to red. Sweden and Denmark have suspended the use of the Moderna vaccine in younger age groups after reports of possible rare side effects involving the inflammation of the heart or its lining. And Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg has responded to accusations from a whistleblower that the social media platform profits from hate speech. The billionaire says the claims are illogical and that Facebook makes money from ads, and advertisers don't want their ads next to harmful or angry content. To sport, the Ashes will go ahead this summer thanks to 2 conversations between Cricket Australia boss Nick Hockley and England captain Joe Root. The touring squad now happy with COVID arrangements for the players and their families. And Football Australia's confirmed Sports Integrity Australia will do an independent investigation into claims sexual harassment and bullying in the Australian women's team. 2 former players who raised concerns are still yet to make a formal complaint. In entertainment news, Kylie Minogue is moving back to Australia after 30 years in the UK. The Aussie singer spent time in Australia this year due to the lockdowns and has now told the BBC that she's planning to make Melbourne her base. And James Bond star Daniel Craig's being honoured with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. His final Bond movie, No Time to Die, is released in the States this weekend. That's your latest from the Nova podcast team. We'll see you this afternoon for another episode of The Update.